Okay, hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Evgeny, and I'm a bit nervous too because previous 2 years I used to give a presentations without my pens. So this is a bit nervous condition. Who likes Zoom and Zoom presentations, Zoom meetings? One, two. It's a bit schizophrenic situation because one part of your brain is telling, hey, there is no one in the room. Another part of your brain is telling 100 people is sitting there. So you better not take your shirt off. So this is kind of, so if you expect something technical, you shouldn't, because now something completely different. And I would start from a bit of myself. Hi, I have plenty of time, like half an hour. I could talk about myself. So subscribe to my Twitter. That's it. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, I'm a GDE, Google Developer Expert, on web, Dart, Flutter, yada, 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 conferences, Holy.js, and I'm Director of Development of Rike. I don't know, can I say that we are hiring too? And our office is 100 meters away. Yeah, so thank you very much. And let's talk about front end. You know, what is the biggest problem of this presentation? It's made with the JavaScript. And actually, my laptop will fly away because this is Canvas. And yeah, as you can see, it's glowing a little bit. So front end, are there anyone not from front end? Front end? Like one. You shouldn't be ashamed. Like, front end is not for everyone. So front end. I started front end like 10 years ago. My previous company was Dell, and we decided we should do some front end because front end is pretty easy, right? And we have chosen CoffeeScript, and turns out that CoffeeScript is not the base, for your application. And before we proceed to the future of front end, right, we should start from history of front end, right? And yeah, this presentation made with JavaScript, so this is the problem. So in 12th century of our common era, there was no front end. Sorry. Yeah, maybe some, like Inquisition and other stuff, but yeah. In modern era, in Great French Revolution, there was no front end too. But between 50s and 90s of 18th century, there was no front end too. Okay, so let's play a little game. Yeah, which version of jQuery is your favorite? Okay, please raise your hand, those who hate raising hands. Me too. Well, actually, we will play a little game like front-endometer. So you have 0 points. You add to 0 points 10 points if you know these icons or these frameworks. Yeah, they are on the bottom of the screen. It's like, I don't know, I know one, maybe two: React, Svelte, and GraphQL probably. Then add 10 points if you remember holy wars like Angular versus React. Does anyone remember this holy wars? Yeah, a couple of people. Some strange browser with O. Maybe like, do you remember when there was no jQuery? I remember. It was strange. And what is JavaScript? So how many points do you have? Okay, so this is your age, actually. Okay, I think that's enough. We should be serious, right? So if we rotate it, we can understand that front end is like a tree. It's growing, and right now there are a lot of branches, a lot of leaves, a lot of strange icons, a lot of strange frameworks, and actually it's not enough to know only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You should know more and more and more. And today I'm going to talk about trends. But of course, this is completely subject. So what is front end? By the way, it's Latin. So if you're a front end developer and you don't speak Latin, sorry. Top 10 trends. So I asked my followers in Twitter, yeah, of course, this is the best source of truth. And they gave me a lot of insights, and Twitter is not that great in threads, so I have this tree of answers. And disclaimer number one, of course, this is not true. There is no like front-end government or JavaScript ruler or someone who we can ask like, hey, what's going to be with the front end in 10 years or 20 years or at least 5 years. So, and if you will have this slight sense of frustration, like, you know, when you ask, they ask your name in Starbucks, you say JavaScript and they giving you Java. Yeah. So if you feel this strange feeling of frustration that top 10 trends are not top 10 trends, sorry for that. Another disclaimer is that, well, some of the trends or some of the frameworks or libraries are not for everyone. So maybe Google can invent a lot of things. They have million developers or even billion developers. But if your company is only 3 people, of course, you don't need maybe monorepo. Who knows? Or maybe you're alone. This is disclaimer number 2. And because like these top 10 things are usually really boring, we can play a game, so you can name it, and I will yell wrong, because of course. So what do you think, what is the 10, like not the biggest trend in upcoming years of front end? Java. Yeah, we'll return back. Who knows script? So I think it's HTTP 3. Why? Because maybe it's not for everyone and front-end is not going to be affected with HTTP 3, but I think that it will, because it completely changed everything. As you can remember from university, HTTP 1 and 2 relies on TCP, IP, TLS, but HTTP 3 actually based on UDP. I would tell you a joke about UDP, but you will not get it. So yeah, but actually HTTP 3 based on UDP and Quick. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Quick is a new thing. You will get multiplexing and better error management, controls network congestion better, uses HTTP 2 priority mechanism, better network usage, and requires less CPU actually, and allows connection migration. So if you are on Wi-Fi, you can migrate to LTE like without any problems. As a front-end developer, you even not notice that. So I will have all the information at the last slide, but yeah, I think that HTTP 3, and actually it's supported in Chrome right now, in stable version in Firefox, and of course we have sick child of browsers, Safari. No, sorry, but maybe in future. Number 9. Something. Give me something. Jakub, give me something. No idea. Me too. You don't need a rendering if you have smart rendering. Yeah. Every framework today is rendering smart because users, they don't want to see like clunky animation. They don't want to see, like, if your site is not in 60 FPS, like, come on. Like, maybe 59 probably, but... so in Angular we have Ivy. In React we have Fiber. In Vue we have nothing, but we have tweet from Evan Yu, creator of... and he is saying that Fiber... it's not realized yet, yada. Vue can also do things like Fiber, like with improvements under the hood, but no. Is there any like Vue fans? Fans, 1, 2, okay. Vue is super great, but yeah, sometimes really strange. And of course, Svelte. Any Svelte developer? 1, 2, 3, wow. And Svelte claims to that Svelte doesn't have any like runtime, but it's not true. But yeah, Svelte is kind of good. And of course, Worker DOM. It's a new proposal, that because DOM rendering is the heaviest part of the application, and the worker DOM is a new proposal that proposes actually doing DOM operations inside worker thread. So it's going to be in different thread, and you will get your smooth 60 FPS for free, hopefully. I don't know. So this is trend number 9. Number 8. You already drank a beer, come on. You should say something. Okay, number 9. One store, multiple stores. Do you remember Facebook? Yeah. So in the Facebook, we have a lot of widgets. This is a widget. And it gets to the server to get this red icon. I don't know. This is a widget. This is a huge widget with some store. This is also, I don't know, some bullshit. This is stories. I don't know. And this also. And actually, everything here requires some data. And previously, and this also too. Yeah, I don't know. There are like how many developers in Facebook? Like 1,000, 2,000, like front-end developers, and they develop this. So, well, Facebook is really great. There is no Facebook office in Prague, right? So previously we had this like one state for your application, and when this small tiny button wants to get something from server, usually you get this redux, some actions, yada, 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 and just imagine how state looks like for this application, like this. But right now, I think we are going to the multiple states, and every component would have independent state. But the biggest question, of course, how small this component should be, like how small this state should be, I don't know. Maybe this is the question for next talk. Well, let's see. And of course, GraphQL would help you with that, because you can manage all your data with GraphQL. It's not a trend. I think, like, who uses GraphQL right now? I expected more, but yeah. I advise you to use GraphQL if you have huge state, for example. And some examples for you, for React lovers here, React Query, really nice application. Sorry, not application, but library. And it helps you to not to store everything in one state. And SWR, really nice library. Again, you can use SVR and then some API, and it will create everything for you, like error. If error, return error, you know. And the last one is effector, effector.js. It's again another library. Code is not that important, so you're just creating a store with it, and then on increment, decrement, so it is pretty easy. You should consider just, I don't know, take a look at the effector.js. Number 7. I can stay here for a long period of time. Okay. We'll see, probably, but not here, because it's new bundlers. The trend, from my perspective, right now, trend is that we should have the smallest bundle possible, because no user will wait for 30 seconds for your application to load, right? So new bundlers will help you to have small chunks and small bundler size. And of course, right now we have Java models. Does anyone remember this require notation? Yeah. So right now we have import, and it's supported in almost every browser in the world, except like best browser in the world. And yeah, right now you can import everything using import, and it works in Node.js too, so this is really nice. And all these bundlers help you to have your application, like, for example, model federation with Webpack. Another really nice thing. So you can bundle your application pretty easily with model federation. Again, I will not go deeper, but there are all the articles at the end. And a couple of new builders, ES build, pretty quick, really quick. Snowpack second version. Does anyone hear about Snowpack? Yeah. And white, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, this is another Vite? Vite? Yeah, this is another new bundler, so yeah, we have plenty of options. Number 6. CSS and JS? No. Accessibility. And you can say that, hey, accessibility is not a trend, come on, like accessibility. But the problem is that, okay, who has accessible application? I mean, like, so you don't have, guys. So I believe with the new laws, you will have, because maybe it's not true for all the countries in the world, but there is a list you can Google accessibility laws, and those laws, they force even private companies to have accessible products. Like, for example, if your product would sell, or I don't know, if your product will be used by Apple, for example, it should be accessible, or any universities, or any government structures. It should be accessible. So if you don't know anything about accessibility, like this thing, yeah, it's made by me in JavaScript, well, in CSS. So I think that accessibility is a not new trend, but sooner or later, you as a front-end developer should know about that, at least something. Maybe not 100% score in Lighthouse or anywhere else, but still, accessibility is a new thing. And yeah. Number 5.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, it's a movie Lighthouse, really nice. And you know what? What I don't understand, why pipe is in this direction, how he smoked it. Yeah, it's rainy. Nice one. So of course it's Web Vitals. Google and other companies force us as the developers to have fast, as they think, fast websites, products, SaaS, and other applications. And also we have new metrics. They introduced, I believe, in Chrome 75, but I'm not sure. So those metrics are largest contentful paint, first input delay, and cumulative layout shift. What does it mean? It means that if your website or your product is accessible from the public, I mean like SEO, you know, all this stuff. If you don't have a good score in Lighthouse, maybe not 99, but something closer to it, Google can lower it in the search. So, for example, if you're doing some pizza shop and you have bad metrics, it means that if someone is googling like best pizza shop in Prague, you will be lower in search engine, and this is not great for your SEO and if you're selling pizza shop. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, this is a great point, because if your site is not accessible, it means that it would be lowered in search in Google and other search engines, and this is not very good for the business, right? And if it's not good for business, it's not good for front end, right? Because we need to eat something, like pizza. Like number 4. Like number 4. Maybe it's WebAssembly. But yeah, it's WebAssembly. Okay, who don't know about WebAssembly? Like everyone knows about WebAssembly. No. So WebAssembly is like not a new technology, but kind of. It's like 6 years old or so. In the front end, it's eternity. But yeah, WebAssembly is a thing that allows you to run C++ code, C++ and Rust and a couple of other languages in your browser. It means that you can run like Photoshop or any like CAD solutions, SolidWorks, whatever, inside your browser. And it means that you can run heavy computation inside your browser. and it means like basically you can run everything inside your browser. So why I'm thinking that this is a trend? I think that this is a trend, and maybe in upcoming years we will see more, because it allows you to actually port your desktop applications. And who remember about desktop applications? Like, come on, everything is in the web. But you can run your heavy application inside your browser in C++ or any other languages, and probably it will shift users from desktop applications again to a front end. One problem, it's a garbage collection with the WebAssembly, is that there are some languages without garbage collection, right? Like C++. Yeah, but and WebAssembly is kind of forced you to use those languages. And for example, if you would like to use any other language like Java with garbage collection, it's a big problem. We'll see, but on 5th of May, main contributor with the cheese on avatar, I don't know why, said that they will ship garbage collection probably soon. We'll see. Number 3, and yeah, this is npm package delivery. Oh boy, my package is here. Bam, you have plenty of packages. So number 3, what do you think? Tree shaking? No. That's why you're keeping silence, because I would say no. Well, it's micro frontends. I believe that monorepo is not a trend. And sorry, we will discuss it later. But just imagine Facebook. You want to develop it not as a one team, and you would like to ship it not as a one repository, and you would like to split it into multiple chunks. And this thing is going to be a different team. This thing is going to be a different team. And every small button can be a different team. So micro frontends is, I believe, a trend. And you can check a really nice article from Martin Fowler's website. So micro frontends is a way how you can ship your front end. Like, you have micro frontend A, you build and test it, and then you ship it to production, and then like a pieces of puzzle, it will glue together, and yeah, you will get your kind of big application, but with the micro frontends. And previously we had these horizontal teams, like each team would develop everything, and I don't think that this is the future of front end. We would have small teams with the small front ends, with the small chunks, and somehow, in some magical way, by the way, we use the same approach, it will glue together on the front end user machine. Number 2. Okay, I love you. It's a web platform. Right now, browser can achieve a lot of things, right? We can use Bluetooth. We can use, I don't know, GPS. We can use almost everything inside browser. And there is one project called web.dev Fugu. Let me open. This is the project from Google mostly, but many other companies contributed in that. And as you can see, right now browsers, they can do a lot of things, like handwriting recognition, idle detection, clipboard, camera, contact picker, context in file system, periodic background sync, a lot of things. And again, this is point to the desktop applications. Right now, in browser, you can do almost everything, like PWA. You can completely get rid of mobile developers in your company, just only front-end developers. Yeah, and I think that this is the future, because with Fugu and other projects, browsers are getting smarter and smarter, and in the future we will not have any like user interface except of browser. And the last one, I like JavaScript and I prefer TypeScript, but we still respect each get the dirty bullshit out of my face. As you can guess, number one is it's TypeScript. I don't know. Probably maybe in the future. And the biggest problem of TypeScript is that they ship everything. Like TypeScript, if you remember like 5 years ago, with beta version of TypeScript, it was way simpler. But I don't know. I liked it back in the days. But right now, TypeScript can do a lot of things. But I don't know. Maybe someday TypeScript will be ruined by the features. But right now, I believe that TypeScript will replace JavaScript, or maybe, and they will have some relationships, and we will have Java TypeScript or type JavaScript or something like this. But we'll see. After my talk, we can discuss it. But that were top 10. And by the way, about TypeScript, this is really nice site. Let's remove PHP. Sorry. And the Python and Ruby and Java. Yeah, sorry, Java. And C. And other ugly C. So we have JavaScript and where is the TypeScript? TypeScript. Yeah, TypeScript. Oh, CoffeeScript. Yeah, unfortunately. So, of course, right now JavaScript is way more popular than TypeScript, but still, as you can see, it's growing and growing and growing and growing. And this is, I believe, it started from, I'm not sure, but like from 2016 or so. So I don't know what's going to be in the future, but TypeScript is getting way popular these days. And yeah. And the conclusion. First of all, learn TypeScript. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Desktop applications are gone, I believe. So if you're a desktop developer, sorry. And learn accessibility, and smaller equals better. And yeah, thank you very much. Subscribe to our channels. Thank you. And probably we're ready for some questions. Should I open it? Okay. Where's my mouse? Here? No? Yeah. What kind of tool do you use as a magnifier? It is a very nice presenter called Logitech whatever. So I can do this and like this. And also I can press the buttons, but I will not do that. So yeah, you can buy this as kind of, I don't know, $100. You forgot one very promising new bundler, HTTPS, github.com, SWC, project SWC. It is not so hyped as AES build, but Imha better designed. Probably, I don't know, we can discuss it. Maybe it's better. I haven't touched it, so. Why didn't you mention web components? What do you think about it? But they are already there, so it's not a trend. I mean, web components are supported by all browsers, even Safari supported it. So I think it's just there. It's like saying CSS is trending. Like, sorry. And apps are gone. How about games? I don't know. Games are completely different because they require a lot of CPU, GPU, and they build with like C# these days, like Unity. So I'm not sure that JavaScript and browser technologies will replace that because the market for games is really wide. Because like for desktop applications, the market was super small. But games, yeah, it is totally different. But we'll see. I don't know. I believe these days in browser you can play a lot of games. And WebAssembly, yeah, you can play some old games. One guy from one conference, I believe he created three heroes of Might and Magic with JavaScript only. So you can check this out. Pretty outstanding. Yeah, but it's under copyrighted. All these things. So what about native apps for Android and iOS? What's their future? Because I'm Flutter GDE, I would say that Flutter will replace everything there. And and yeah, but I don't know. I think for a small company, for a small team, and as a, for example, CIO of some company, of some pizza shop, I would better hire one developer to develop everything, then hire Android developer, iOS developer, and Android designer and plenty of people. So I don't know. I think maybe probably for smaller project, React Native, Flutter, and PWA will replace native applications. We'll see. Games. Let's start front-end console. Probably. Well, actually, there is a TC39. So this is the committee that decides what's going to be in JavaScript in the future. So it is almost like this. VS Code in browser, but it's actually there. You can go to GitHub and open, and VS Code is there. Yeah. So well, actually, yeah, VS Code is an Electron, so it's technically it's in browser. But yeah, you can open GitHub and press. I don't remember a hotkey, but you can open VS Code inside browser. Looks like that's it. Maybe some questions from you guys. There is one question.
So you mentioned micro frontends as one of the trends to focus on. I keep hearing about exactly what you've shown on the picture, the horizontal style guide thing. That is a thing in a lot of companies, and monorepos are like orthogonal to that. It's rather organizational structure difference. You mentioned you use micro frontends. How do you make sure that you don't need, or how do you replace the horizontal style guide thing in your organization so that you get consistent outcomes with regards to visual and user experience effects?
Probably you should buy a second microphone. Yeah, just an advice. So we have design system. We have design system. It is based on style guides. So we have components. And yeah, every team can develop their components, but they should follow style guides from designers. So that's how we have consistency, and we don't have like completely separate buttons in each part of the application. Yeah. Sorry? No, we used to have monorepo, but now we don't. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. We have 300 separate repositories or so. But yeah, and by the way, 2.5 million lines of code. I'm not bragging, but yeah. I need other questions. Okay. Thank you very much, and let's have a beer and discuss.